The Big Surprise. The big spaceship of Empress Zixvora hung in the dark sky. It was huge, like a city floating in space. The Empress sat on her big chair, looking at the screens in front of her. Her purple skin shined in the light of the screens. She had 4 arms and 3 eyes, and she looked very proud. "What's new today?" she asked in a bored voice. She ruled over many planets and thought nothing could surprise her anymore. A small alien with green skin ran up to her. "Your Highness, we found a new planet," he said, very excited. The Empress didn't look impressed. "So what? We find new planets all the time," she said. The green alien shook his head. "No, Your Highness, this one is different. It has life on it." Now the Empress sat up straight. This was new. "Show me," she ordered. The big screen in front of her lit up. It showed a blue and green planet spinning slowly. White clouds moved over its surface. "It's called Earth," the green alien said, "and it has thinking beings on it. They call themselves humans." The Empress leaned forward, interested for the first time in years. "Humans? What are they like?" More pictures showed up on the screen. The Empress saw cities, cars, and people walking around. She saw planes flying and ships sailing on the sea. The Empress started to laugh. "Look at them. They're so small and weak," she said. "They don't even have spaceships. This will be easy." She stood up, all 4 of her arms spread wide. "I want that planet," she said. "It looks nice. I think I'll make it my new vacation home." The green alien looked worried. "But Your Highness, shouldn't we talk to them first? Maybe they're friendly." The Empress laughed again. "Talk? Why talk when we can just take? They can't stop us. Look at them. They probably think they're alone in the universe." She walked to a big map of the galaxy. Earth was just a tiny dot on it. "Send ships," she ordered. "I want that planet under my control in 1 week. It should be easy." Alarms started to sound all over the big spaceship. Aliens of all colors and shapes ran around, getting ready for the attack on Earth. The Empress sat back in her chair, smiling. She thought about how surprised the humans would be when they saw her ships in the sky. She imagined how scared they would be. It made her happy. "Soon, little Earth," she said to herself. "Soon you'll be mine." But while the Empress was planning her easy victory, something was happening on Earth. Something the Empress didn't know about. Something that would surprise her more than she could ever imagine. In a secret room deep under the White House in Washington, D.C., the President of the United States sat with other world leaders. They were all looking at a big screen, watching the alien spaceship. "They found us," the President said. His face was serious. The Prime Minister of India nodded. "Yes, but they don't know about our secret. They think we're helpless." The President stood up. "It's time," he said. "We've been preparing for this day for 100 years. It's time to show the galaxy what humans can really do." He pressed a big red button on the table. Alarms started to sound all over the Earth. But these weren't alarms of fear. They were alarms of readiness. All around the world, secret doors began to open. In the middle of deserts, in the depths of oceans, and even on the far side of the moon, huge hangar doors slid apart. And out of those hangars came the biggest surprise in the history of the galaxy. Spaceships. Hundreds of them. Big ones, small ones, fast ones, strong ones. Each one more advanced than anything the Empress had ever seen. The humans had been building these ships in secret for a century. They had guessed that they weren't alone in the universe, and they had prepared. Every country had worked together, putting aside their differences to get ready for this day. And now, as the Empress's ships came closer to Earth, thinking they would find an easy target, they were in for a big surprise. The President looked at the other leaders. "Are we ready?" he asked. They all nodded. "Then let's give this Empress a welcome she'll never forget," the President said with a smile. Outside, the sky began to fill with ships. Not alien ships, but human ships. They rose from the Earth in their hundreds, then their thousands. The people down below cheered as they saw their secret defenders flying up to protect them. On her big spaceship, Empress Zixvora was about to get the biggest shock of her life. The easy victory she had imagined was about to turn into the fight of her life. As the first of the human ships appeared on her screens, the Empress's 3 eyes opened wide in surprise and fear. For the first time in her long life, she realized she had made a very big mistake. The humans were ready. The humans were strong. And the humans were not going to give up their planet without a fight. The big surprise wasn't for Earth. The big surprise was for the alien Empress who thought she could just take whatever she wanted. She was about to learn that humans were a lot more than she had thought. The battle for Earth was about to begin, and it was going to be unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen before. Earth's hidden power. The world was in a frenzy. TVs, phones, and computers everywhere showed the same thing. A huge alien spaceship hanging in the sky. People were scared, confused, and wondering what would happen next. But in a secret room deep under the ground, the world's leaders weren't scared. They were smiling. "It's time," said the President of the United States. He looked at the other leaders around him. "Should we tell them?" The Prime Minister of Japan nodded. "Yes, it's time our people knew the truth." The President pressed a big red button. Suddenly, every TV, phone, and computer screen changed. Now they showed the President, sitting at his desk in the Oval Office. "My fellow citizens of Earth," he began, "today, we face a threat from beyond the stars. But do not be afraid. For over 100 years, we have been preparing for this day." People all over the world leaned closer to their screens, confused but curious. The President continued, "What I'm about to tell you will sound unbelievable. But I promise you, it's all true." He took a deep breath. "For the past century, all the nations of Earth have been working together in secret. We've been building something to protect us from threats just like this." The screen behind the President changed. It showed a massive underground hangar. And in that hangar were spaceships. Huge, gleaming spaceships. Gasps could be heard in living rooms and city squares all around the world. "These are our defenders," the President said. 200 supercarriers, each one more advanced than anything the aliens have. We've been building them in secret, preparing for this day. The camera zoomed in on one of the ships. It was sleek and powerful, bristling with weapons that looked like they came from a sci-fi movie. "But that's not all," the President said. "We've also been training. For generations, some of our best and brightest have been preparing to fly these ships, to fight for Earth if we ever needed to." The screen changed again, showing men and women in flight suits, standing proud next to their ships. "These brave pilots are ready to defend our planet," the President said. They trained their whole lives for this moment. All around the world, people were glued to their screens. Some were crying, some were cheering, but all were amazed. The President's face became serious. "We didn't want to keep this secret from you, but we had to. We couldn't risk the aliens finding out before we were ready." He smiled. "But now we are ready. And it's time to show these aliens what humans can do." As he finished speaking, the ground began to shake. All over the world, in deserts, in oceans, and even on the far side of the moon, huge doors began to open. In the Sahara Desert, sand poured off a massive metal door as it slid open. Out of it rose a giant spaceship, its engines glowing blue. In the middle of the Pacific Ocean, the sea began to bubble and churn. Then, a huge ship burst out of the waves, water cascading off its shiny hull. On the far side of the moon, a crater opened up, revealing a hidden base. Spaceships zoomed out, their lights twinkling in the darkness of space. All around the world, more and more ships appeared. They rose into the sky, their engines roaring. People came out of their houses, pointing and cheering as the ships flew overhead. In New York, a little girl sat on her father's shoulders, her eyes wide with wonder. "Daddy, are those our ships?" she asked. Her father nodded, tears in his eyes. Yes, sweetheart. Those are our ships. They're going to protect us. In a small village in Africa, an old man looked up at the sky, a big smile on his face. I never thought I'd see the day, he said. Humans among the stars. On the alien spaceship, Empress Zixvora was not smiling. Her 3 eyes were wide with shock as she watched the human ships appear on her screens. How is this possible? She screamed. They're supposed to be primitive. Her advisors scrambled around her, trying to make sense of what they were seeing. Your Highness, one of them said, his voice shaking, these human ships, they're more advanced than ours. The Empress couldn't believe it. She had thought this would be an easy conquest. Now she was facing a fight she wasn't sure she could win. Back on Earth, the President stood in a control room, watching as the human fleet assembled in space. Hundreds of ships, gleaming in the sunlight, ready to defend their home. Are we ready? He asked the general next to him. The general nodded. Yes, sir. All ships report ready for combat. The President took a deep breath. This was the moment everything had been leading up to. 100 years of secrecy, of hard work, of preparation. Now, it would all be put to the test. He pressed a button on the console in front of him. His voice rang out to every ship in the fleet. Attention, all ships. This is the President. The time has come to defend our home. You've trained for this your whole lives. Now, show the universe what humanity can do. A cheer went up from every ship. The engines of the fleet glowed brighter, and as one, they began to move towards the alien ships. The battle for Earth was about to begin, and thanks to their hidden power, humans were ready. As the fleet moved out, people all over Earth watched and hoped. For the first time, humans were united as one planet, one people. And they were about to show the galaxy that they were a force to be reckoned with. The age of Earth's hidden power was over. Now, it was time for the age of Earth's cosmic destiny to begin. Space battle begins. The huge black sky of space was no longer empty. It was full of lights, the lights of spaceships. On one side were the alien ships, big and scary. On the other side were the human ships, shiny and new. Empress Zixvora sat in her big chair on her main ship. She was angry and confused. This was not how things were supposed to go. The humans were supposed to be weak and easy to beat. But now, they had all these ships. How dare they? She yelled, her purple face getting darker with anger. Attack them now. Show them who's boss. On the human ships, the mood was different. Captains and pilots were excited, but also a bit scared. They had trained for this, but now it was real. Captain Sarah Chen of the Earth ship Star Defender looked at her crew. This is it, people, she said. Everything we've trained for. Let's show these aliens what humans can do. Her crew cheered. They were ready. Suddenly, the space between the two fleets lit up. The alien ships had fired their weapons. Big red beams of light shot towards the human ships. But the humans were ready. Their ships moved fast, dodging the red beams. Some put up shields, and the alien weapons bounced off them like water off a duck's back. Now it was Earth's turn. The human ships fired back. Blue and green beams shot out from their weapons. They hit the alien ships, making them shake and spark. Empress Zixvora couldn't believe her eyes. How are they doing this? She screamed. Their weapons are stronger than ours. Back on the Star Defender, Captain Chen was smiling. Good job, team, she said. But this is just the start. Let's show them our special moves. She pressed a button on her chair. All ships, this is Captain Chen. Time for Operation Firefly. All around her, the human fleet started to move. They split up into smaller groups. Each group flew in a special pattern, like a dance in space. The aliens didn't know what was happening. They tried to hit the human ships, but now they were moving too fast, in too many directions. Then the human ships did something amazing. They all fired their weapons at the same time, but in a special way. The beams joined together, making one super big beam. This huge beam of light hit the biggest alien ship. There was a bright flash, and when it cleared, the alien ship was broken in two. On her ship, Empress Zixvora fell out of her chair. Alarms were beeping all around her. "What was that?" she yelled. "How did they do that?" Her advisors were running around, panicking. "We don't know, Your Highness," one of them said. "We've never seen weapons like this before." The Empress was so angry, she looked like she might explode. "Fight back," she screamed. "Use all our weapons. I want those human ships destroyed." The alien fleet started firing everything they had. The space around Earth lit up like a giant fireworks show. But the human ships were ready for this too. Captain Chen's voice came over the radio again. "Okay, everyone. They're getting desperate. Time for Defense Plan Delta." The human ships moved again, but this time, they got closer together. As the alien weapons came at them, something incredible happened. A big blue bubble appeared around the whole human fleet. The alien weapons hit this bubble and just disappeared. It was like they were being eaten up by it. Inside her ship, Captain Chen nodded. "The shield is working perfectly," she said. "Now, let's finish this." She looked at her weapons officer. "Target their command ship," she said. "Let's say hello to this Empress." On her ship, Empress Zixvora was getting more and more angry. Nothing was working. These humans were too strong, too smart. Suddenly, a voice came through her ship's speakers. It was Captain Chen. "Attention, alien fleet. This is Captain Sarah Chen of Earth. You came here thinking we would be easy to beat. You were wrong. We've been preparing for this day for 100 years. We don't want to destroy you, but we will defend our home. Leave now, or we'll have no choice but to continue this battle." The Empress was shocked. These humans were giving her a chance to leave. After all this, for a moment, she thought about it. Maybe it would be smart to leave. These humans were clearly stronger than she thought. But then her pride took over. "Never," she yelled. "I am Empress Zixvora. I don't run from a fight." She turned to her weapons officer. "Fire everything we have at their main ship," she ordered. Back on the Star Defender, Captain Chen sighed. She had hoped the aliens would leave. "They've made their choice," she said. "All ships, prepare for final attack." The human fleet moved one last time. They formed a big circle, with the Star Defender in the middle. All the ships pointed their weapons at the alien command ship. "Fire," said Captain Chen. A massive beam of light, bigger than anything before, shot out from the human fleet. It hit the alien command ship dead center. There was a huge explosion. When the light faded, the alien command ship was gone. The rest of the alien fleet stopped firing. They seemed confused, lost without their leader. Captain Chen's voice came over the radio again. "Alien fleet, your command ship is destroyed. Your Empress is defeated. This is your last chance. Leave our solar system now, or be destroyed." For a few seconds, nothing happened. Then, one by one, the alien ships started to turn around. They were leaving. A cheer went up from every human ship. They had done it. They had defended Earth. As the last alien ship disappeared into deep space, Captain Chen sat back in her chair. She smiled at her crew. "Good job, everyone," she said. "Let's go home. I think Earth will want to hear about this." As the human fleet headed back to Earth, news of their victory was already spreading. All over the planet, people were cheering and celebrating. The first space battle in human history was over, and humanity had won. Humans fight back. The big screens in Times Square showed amazing pictures. Human spaceships were flying through space, chasing after alien ships. People on the streets cheered every time a human ship won a fight. In the White House, the president sat with his team. They were looking at a big map of the galaxy. Little lights on the map showed where human and alien ships were. "It's time," the president said. "We've defended Earth. Now we need to make sure they can't come back. He turned to a woman in a military uniform. General Zhang, are our ships ready to attack? General Zhang nodded. Yes, sir. Our fleet is ready to hit their main bases. The president took a deep breath. This was a big decision. Humans had never attacked anyone in space before, but they had to do it to keep Earth safe. Okay, he said. Give the order. Operation Starlight begins now. In space, the human fleet got the message. They had been waiting for this. Captain Sarah Chen, still in her ship, Star Defender, smiled when she heard the news. All right, team, she said to her crew. We're going on a little trip. Let's show these aliens they can't mess with Earth. The human ships turned their engines on full power. They zoomed away from Earth, going faster than any human had ever gone before. As they flew, they passed Mars and Jupiter. Some of the crew looked out the windows, amazed. They were the first humans to travel this far into space. After a few hours, they saw something ahead. It was an alien space station. It was big and looked very strong. There it is, said Captain Chen. Their first line of defense. Let's take it down. The human ships spread out, just like they had practiced. They flew around the alien station, confusing the aliens inside. Then they attacked. Blue and green beams shot out from the human ships. They hit the alien station, making big explosions. Inside the station, aliens ran around in panic. They had thought they were safe out here. They never expected humans to come this far. The alien leader on the station pressed a button. A message went out to all alien ships. Help! The humans are attacking us. But it was too late. The human ships were too fast, too strong. In just a few minutes, the big alien station was breaking apart. Captain Chen watched as the station fell. Good job, team, she said. But this is just the start. We have more bases to find. The human fleet flew on. They found more alien bases and ships. Each time, the humans won the fight. Some of the alien ships tried to run away, but the human ships were faster. They caught up and destroyed the alien ships or made them give up. Back on Earth, people watched all of this on TV. They were amazed and proud. Humans, who had never been to space before, were now winning fights across the galaxy. In schools, teachers showed their students what was happening. This is history, they said. You're watching humans become a space power. As the battles went on, something strange started to happen. Some alien ships stopped fighting. Instead, they sent messages to the human ships. We give up, the messages said. We don't want to fight anymore. Can we talk? Captain Chen was surprised. She sent a message to Earth, asking what to do. The president and his team talked about it. This could be a trick, said one advisor. Or it could be a chance for peace, said another. The president thought hard. Then he made a decision. Tell Captain Chen to talk to them, he said. But be careful. Captain Chen got the message. She told her crew to be ready for anything. Then she answered the alien message. Okay, she said. Let's talk. A big screen on her ship lit up. An alien face appeared. This alien looked scared, not angry like Empress Zixvora. Human warriors, the alien said. We are amazed by your strength. We didn't know you were so powerful. Many of us never wanted this war. Can we stop fighting? Captain Chen was surprised. She hadn't expected this. Why should we trust you? She asked. The alien looked sad. Many of us were forced to fight by Empress Zixvora, it said. She told us humans were weak and evil. But we see now that she was wrong. You are strong, but you are also fair. You could have destroyed us all, but you didn't. Captain Chen thought about this. She sent another message to Earth, telling them what the alien said. The president and his team were excited. This was a big chance. They could end the war and make new friends in space. Tell them we're willing to stop fighting, the president said, but they have to promise never to attack Earth again. Captain Chen gave the aliens the message. The alien on the screen looked happy. "We promise," it said. "We don't want to fight anymore. We want to learn from humans. You have amazing technology." Over the next few hours, more and more alien ships stopped fighting. They all sent the same message. They wanted peace. The human fleet stopped attacking. Instead, they started talking to the aliens. They learned many things about the alien worlds and people. Back on Earth, people celebrated. The war was over and humans had won. But they hadn't just won a war. They had made new friends in space. The president made a big speech. "Today is a great day for Earth," he said. "We have shown the galaxy that humans are strong. But we've also shown that we are kind. We won the war, and now we've won the peace." As the human fleet started their long trip home, Captain Chen looked out at the stars. She smiled, thinking about all the new places humans would go, all the new things they would learn. The age of humans in space had begun, and it was going to be amazing. Alien Empire in trouble. Far away from Earth, on a planet with 3 moons, Empress Zixvora was not happy. She sat on her big throne, but it didn't feel so special anymore. Her advisors stood around her, looking scared. "How could this happen?" she yelled. "How could those little humans beat us?" One brave advisor stepped forward. "Your Highness," he said, shaking a little, "it seems we made a mistake. The humans were much stronger than we thought." The Empress's face turned dark purple with anger. "A mistake," she shouted. "We lost half our fleet. That's more than a mistake." Suddenly, a big screen in the room lit up. It showed alien ships running away from human ships. The aliens watching in the room gasped. "Your Highness," another advisor said, "we're getting reports from all over the Empire. Many of our worlds, they're surrendering to the humans." The Empress couldn't believe it. Surrendering? Without a fight? How dare they? But it was true. All across the alien empire, things were changing fast. On one alien planet, big crowds were in the streets. They were carrying signs with pictures of human ships on them. They were chanting, "No more war. Make peace with Earth." The alien governor of the planet looked out his window at the crowds. He was worried. He pressed a button to call the Empress. "Your Highness," he said when her angry face appeared on the screen. "The people, they don't want to fight anymore. They're asking us to make peace with the humans." The Empress looked like she might explode. "Tell them to stop this nonsense at once," she ordered. But the governor shook his head. "I'm sorry, Your Highness, but if we don't make peace, I think the people might kick us out." Similar things were happening on other alien planets too. Some aliens were excited about humans. They wanted to learn more about Earth. Humans have such cool technology. One alien kid said to his friends, "Did you see their ships? I want to ride in one." Even some alien soldiers were changing sides. On one alien base, a group of soldiers was talking. "I heard the humans treat their soldiers really well," one said. "They even let them vote for their leaders." "Really?" another asked. "Maybe we should go join them instead." Back in her palace, the Empress was getting more and more bad news. Another advisor came running in. "Your Highness," he said, out of breath. "Our biggest shipbuilding planet. They've stopped making warships." "What?" the Empress shouted. "Why?" They say they want to make ships for exploring instead, like the humans do." The Empress stood up, knocking over her throne. "This is unacceptable," she yelled. "I am the Empress. They must obey me." But even as she said it, she knew things were changing. Her empire was falling apart, all because of the humans. Meanwhile, on Earth, humans were watching all of this happen. The president sat with his team, looking at reports from across the alien empire. "It's amazing," one advisor said. "We didn't just beat them in battle. We're changing their whole society." The president nodded. "Yes, but we need to be careful. We don't want to cause too much trouble." He turned to his team. "Let's send a message to all alien worlds. Tell them we're ready to make peace, to be friends. But tell them they need to choose their own futures. We won't decide for them." The message was sent out. All across the alien empire, aliens gathered around screens to watch. The president's face appeared. He smiled and said, "People of the galaxy, we come in peace. We fought only because we had to defend ourselves. Now, we want to be friends. We have much to learn from each other. We don't want to rule you or change you. We just want to explore the stars together. What do you say? Shall we be friends?" The response was huge. On planet after planet, aliens cheered. They liked this human. He seemed nice, not scary like their Empress. But in her palace, Empress Zixvora was furious. "How dare they?" she shouted. "I'll show them. I'll attack Earth again. But she stopped. Her advisors were looking at her strangely. "What?" she asked. "Why are you looking at me like that?" The bravest advisor stepped forward again. "Your Highness," he said quietly, I'm afraid you can't attack Earth again." "Why not?" she demanded. "Because," he said, "we have no ships. No one will fight for you anymore. The Empire is over." The Empress fell back into her throne. She couldn't believe it. Her great empire, defeated not just by human ships, but by human ideas. As she sat there, shocked, more reports came in. Alien worlds were asking to talk to Earth. They wanted to make peace, to trade, to learn. Some even wanted to visit Earth. They had heard about things like pizza and movies, and wanted to try them. The giant alien empire that had terrified the galaxy was changing. It was becoming a group of free worlds, inspired by Earth. And far away, on their little blue planet, humans looked up at the stars and smiled. They had won the war. They had made peace. And now, they had a whole galaxy of new friends to meet. The Empress's trouble was Earth's triumph. A new age of galactic peace and friendship was beginning. And it all started because some aliens thought humans would be easy to beat. They sure learned their lesson. Humans saved the day. The big room was full of strange faces. Aliens of all shapes and colors sat around a huge table. At the head of the table sat the President of Earth. This was the first big meeting of the new Galactic Council. "Friends," the President said, smiling at all the aliens, "welcome to Earth. We're here to build a better future for all of us." The aliens looked excited. One alien with 3 eyes stood up. "Earth humans," it said, "we can't thank you enough. You saved us from the Empress. You gave us freedom." Another alien, this one looking like a big plant, spoke next. "Yes, and now we want to learn from you. How did you build such amazing ships? How do you make pizza?" The President laughed. "We'll teach you all about pizza later. But first, we have big problems to solve." He was right. The fall of Empress Zixvora's empire had left the galaxy in a mess. Some planets were fighting each other. Others didn't have enough food or medicine. "We need to help everyone," the President said. "It's not enough to win a war. We need to build peace." The aliens all nodded. They liked this idea. For the next few days, humans and aliens worked together. They made plans to help every planet in the galaxy. Meanwhile, in space, human ships were busy too. They weren't fighting now. They were helping. Captain Sarah Chen, in her ship Star Defender, flew from planet to planet. Her ship was full of food and medicine. On one planet, aliens with long necks were very hungry. When Captain Chen's ship landed, they cheered. "Thank you, Earth humans," they said as Chen's crew gave out food. "You're our heroes." Chen smiled. This felt even better than winning battles. Humans saved the day. The big room was full of strange faces. Aliens of all shapes and colors sat around a huge table. At the head of the table sat the President of Earth. This was the first big meeting of the new Galactic Council. "Friends," the President said, smiling at all the aliens, "welcome to Earth. We're here to build a better future for all of us." The aliens looked excited. One alien with 3 eyes stood up. "Earth humans," it said, "we can't thank you enough. You saved us from the Empress. You gave us freedom." Another alien, this one looking like a big plant, spoke next. "Yes, and now we want to learn from you. How did you build such amazing ships? How do you make pizza?" The president laughed. "We'll teach you all about pizza later. But first, we have big problems to solve." He was right. The fall of Empress Zixvora's empire had left the galaxy in a mess. Some planets were fighting each other. Others didn't have enough food or medicine. "We need to help everyone," the president said. "It's not enough to win a war. We need to build peace." The aliens all nodded. They liked this idea. For the next few days, humans and aliens worked together. They made plans to help every planet in the galaxy. Meanwhile, in space, human ships were busy too. They weren't fighting now. They were helping. Captain Sarah Chen, in her ship Star Defender, flew from planet to planet. Her ship was full of food and medicine. On one planet, aliens with long necks were very hungry. When Captain Chen's ship landed, they cheered. "Thank you, Earth humans," they said as Chen's crew gave out food. "You're our heroes." Chen smiled. This felt even better than winning battles. On another planet, human scientists were teaching aliens about clean energy. The aliens were amazed. "You mean we can have power without hurting our planet?" One alien asked. "Incredible."